Welcome to the deal room.
Welcome.
Welcome, buddy. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing? We got a doozy of a guest today.
Today we do?
I think he made it.
He did make it. This was a long time.
He's so busy.
Yeah, it was a long time trying to track this gentleman down. Today's guest is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Sergio Pejoves with Worth Avenue Capital Group out of the state of Florida, Southern Florida. So this is going to be interesting because our guest today is a man of many hats and has quite the story and journey that he's been on with single-family properties and portfolios, and now he's into multi and expanding out of multi and maybe doing builds and conversions. But we've known Sergio how many years now?
A couple years. Yeah. Feels like more because we work so closely with him and, weekends, text messages, putting deals together through text message. Like we've gotten creative with him in negotiating, putting emails and texts together and lunches and dinners and, closing celebrations. And, but the one thing I can say about him that really sticks out, like his X factor is his creativity.
Yes.
And with creativity, of course, you have to spend money, right? So that's his X factor right there.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we need that from other sellers, landlords. Do it for the tenants, do it for the community, do it for the county, do it for society. This is what growth is all about. That's what America is all about. So let's better our properties. And let's hear from Sergio, who can be an inspiration to us all.
Yeah. No, sounds good. I'm excited to get him on to see this and hear what he's got going on because he has some new things, I think, to add that we don't know today that we're going to find out. I'll tell you what, though, our first transaction with him, I don't think I will ever forget.
Yeah.
No matter how many years go by, no matter how, I think we will always be like, do you remember the first deal we did with Sergio?
It was a good one.
It was a great one.
Yeah, it was a great one. And
but the learning, you know what I mean? There's so much to say.
It's all about moves. You have to move or know your next move. You and I always know what's coming, but we don't want to put it in somebody's head because it might not have blossomed yet. Some people have to go through the process of putting an offer, going to a bank, getting hey, this is not penciling out, and then we have to get resourcely.
Yeah.
Now, Sergio is great because he thinks like us.
Correct. I was gonna say, we all just click.
Yeah, and we have to put the puzzle together, and he's the same way. So just like we've done so many deals in the past, where guys, this deal is not working out as far as income. It's not inking out, and we got to get creative. And the buyer has to be up to it as well. Because if you go to a private lending situation, if the interest rate is not on point, again, you're putting stress on the deal. You're putting stress on the income and the net. So it's very crucial to be able to negotiate each term perfectly.
Yeah, you're 100% correct.
And what do we love most about that, I think, is what we learned from him is pushing out the deal, pushing out the mortgage to where you have some breathing room, to where you can also use that income for a few months to kind of put the place in gear.
It helps, stabilize some things, settle.
Yeah,
go off on a beautiful running start.
There's certain things that are dire to do immediately. It's like you want to do it the second you sign the closing papers. You No, you're going straight to the property and you're removing, the picket, whatever.
Yeah,
some kind of disgusting fencing.
You're going to work.
Or,
You're immediately ding, go to work. Yeah.
So, and he thinks like that too. So it's just, I love the way he thinks. I love that he's on board with us, and very creative, very resourceful. And that's a big word in this business, is resourcefulness on every count, as an agent, as a buyer, as a seller, as a lender, everything. So I'm excited.
Me too. You've always said that too.
Yeah.
Like I said, resourcefulness. And it's important in this industry and in this business to be resourceful for all kinds of, got to have all the little tools in your tool belt for when you may need them at a certain time.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I guess
without further ado, Mr. Sergio Pejoves with Worth Avenue Capital Group. So we may break this into a two-part series.
Well, where are you from, Sergio, originally?
First, sorry about the accent. I have a strong accent, but I'm from Peru originally, and I came to this country back in 1999. So it's been, 22 years in this country? So I came first to El Paso. My brother, who's in the mortgage industry, he invited me to come to the States, and that's how I started as a junior loan officer. And I worked with him for 3 years, and I learned a lot. It was a good venture. So it started it from scratch, trying with very little money. I think I came to this country with $400. That was sorry, somebody's calling me on the phone. That was my net worth, $400. So, of course, fast forwarding, that's a different story now. But I started in the mortgage business, and I did that from 1999 all the way to 2006-07. So I was doing a lot of subprime lending, and it was a ride. And I was a top producer. I was $1 million producer. I started working with my brothers, as I said, and then I moved towards. I partnered up with a lady, and we, started a new company, and we just blew it. We just became one of the biggest mortgage companies in El Paso, and that went down all the way to 2006, and then I decided to move to Houston. I wanted to go to a bigger city, just a bigger market. I'm not particularly from the border. I'm from Lima, Peru, so I'm a coastal guy. And but it was beautiful around El Paso. Really, it was a great opportunity to understand, how this country functions, the opportunities that are there, that you need to take them, and just being humbled by the experience. So I'm very fortunate that I went through that process, that I started, I wouldn't say small town, but, there's a lot going on in El Paso. I think it's a city that not that many investors really look closely at it. You have the border with, with Mexico. You are the border with New Mexico. There's a lot of trade coming in and out. So I believe there's just a lot of commerce, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth. So that was my journey there, and then I moved to Houston, and then, as you all know, the market crashed, right, in 2007, 2008, and I remember, I was doing subprime loans, and I don't think I have any record of people getting foreclosed, so FYI on that end. I was always very, I know other stories of other originations that they were doing bad things, and some got caught. But I was always very diligent with my underwriting, with my borrowers, always asking the right questions. There were just so many flexible loans out there. I mean, you're walking and you're breathing, you get 100% financing. I mean, that's, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was pretty flexible. And, but anyhow, that was just a great experience working there. And then, but I knew, as you all know, business is cyclical, right? And I knew that there was just so much loan offerings, so much, it was just going crazy. So I remember there was a website that that I can't remember the domain name, but it was like an imploding website. It was the discount count meter of all the lenders going belly up. And I'm like, oh, I know that lender. Oh, I know that lender because I was a wholesaler. I knew all my lenders, and they were I was just calling the account executive. Hey, what's going on? I heard that you guys are out of business. You guys were like pre-qualifying my loans a couple of days ago. What happened? And it's just everything started to shut down. It was brutal. So at that time, I knew that what's the other side of this opportunity? When there's a crisis, there's opportunity. So I knew that this was coming to an end. And then I closed operations. I remember I got my notices from all the lenders, pretty much all within a week. And I have a pile of loans, I would say worth $50,000 to $70,000 worth of commissions. And I just couldn't close those deals. Lenders were just simply out of business. And I had to let all the borrowers know that unfortunately I wasn't able to help them get the loan through. And it was a lot going on at that era. I remember it was pretty big crisis. So I took a break after that, and I knew that the real estate was my thing. There's a lot of short sale opportunities, a lot of foreclosure opportunities. Somebody had to pick up those properties. So I started buying properties in the suburbs of Houston, and I ended up fixing and flipping properties for a few years until 2012 that I decided to open up another venture of my company where we were just doing more like boutique developments. Instead of fix and flipping, 20, 25 properties a year, let's just do 4, 5, 6, 7 nice developments where we may invest the same amount of time, but the margins are bigger. So I opened Project Bungalows, which is boutique, high-end remodeling of bungalows in Houston, in the Houston Heights area. And me, along with other local developers, we really start to take over, a particular niche of fixing and rehabbing high-end bungalows and craftsman homes and so forth. So I did that from 2007 to 2000. No, from 2000. You have to edit this. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
From 2012 to 2018, and I realized that I was becoming a little bit transactional, right? In order for me to create gains, I have to turn an opportunity. I have to, find a deal, rehab it, and sell it. And I remember, my daughter was born in 2015. And, that automatically happens, right? I mean, Sean, you can relate to me. Dino, you can relate to me. What's going to happen if we are not here, right?
Yep.
What's my legacy? I mean, what's the cash flow? What if I'm not here and there's these big gains, what's the cash flow situation going on? So it really sparked my head and, this kind of like fatherhood, right? The provider in you comes out. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try to diversify and pivot into cash flowing assets. At that time, I had some small rental portfolio in Houston, but there wasn't enough. So it was a question whether should I sell these properties and do something else or grow. And I decided to take that growth path, and I slowed down on my boutique developments, and I decided to get into the cash flow, multifamily space. And Sean, I have like another 10 hours to go. I don't know, man.
Oh, I know you do. No, it's okay.
You may have to edit all this, but because it's just too long, and I can just go on for hours. I may need a beer, actually.
That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah.
So
no, anything you want to share? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just the path, after, organically. And I think that you are a new investor and you want to just jump into the biggest deal in the neighborhood on your market. Nothing wrong with that. Ambition is good. But I think that before you run, you need to walk. That would save us so much time. Or partner it up with a experienced operator or experienced investor, and that can shortcut, reduce your time of that learning curve. But I feel very proud of all the work done, because it's been years of crafting my abilities to be better, understanding opportunities, understanding when to slow down, when to go aggressive, when to pivot. And I don't think that just the books will teach you that in college. This is just through experience. We're just born with it. You have the ability to sense the timing, to understand, when to pivot and when to not. There's a lot of people, for example, that in the mortgage brokerage crashed, right? That they were like, no, I'm not gonna quit. I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna continue. I said, like, hello, you wanna compete with what? Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo? I mean, who are you gonna compete with? The mortgage brokerage industry is collapsed. Are you gonna start doing FHA? You're limited by 1%. That's not gonna pay the bills. So I decided to move on, and it's not about quitting. It's about making a pivot. It's about understanding when to make a turn. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you definitely have good intuition, and that's a big part in real estate, and that's why I tell everybody, like we say, you got to get your 10,000 hours in, because once you're at that point and you're living the professional life, your gut, you start to feel things in your gut, and you can see the waves, the ebbs and flows, like you said. So that's amazing that you did that, because a lot of people got caught with their pants down. Yeah. Like 90% of the people got caught with their pants down, basically. Yeah. So that was a nice move you did.
You went through that time too.
Yeah, I went through it, but I was luckily, we're conservative. So, certain things you have to watch out for sure. Read the market. And that's something you're great at, for sure.
Yeah, that's very important. So just to wrap up kind of my bio, my track record, after when I decided to get into the cash flow business, the only thing that I knew at that time was, I didn't say that I knew at that time, but I already had a small multifamily portfolio. So I wasn't fully introduced to multifamilies just yet. I'm talking about like more than a few units on a single building. So I came across this off-market portfolio of single-family homes and small multis, and in Wisconsin, and that was just a roller coaster deal. I ended up closing it. It was close to was the first batch of 110 units, and then another batch of around 80 units. So I grew very quick in 2018-19 exponentially, and without partners, all myself. So all in-house operations, and it wasn't easy. It was challenging coming into a new market that the weathers are brutal. The winters are brutal, right? Because you have the snow effect in Wisconsin, and it was just a lot of cleanup to do. And it's not the same having 20, 30 units on a single building than having 200 units spread it out within 3, 4, 5 miles. It's just a lot of work. So it was a learning curve. We started to stabilize the portfolio. It took us a couple of years. Then COVID hit. I mean, that was just very, very, very challenging. And a lot of operators probably, couldn't make it, or they did make it, or, whatever. But it was very challenging, having affordable housing, and half of the people that your tenants, they're not paying. There's some work. Just all the roller coaster that COVID was. So, that was just a lot of stress, a lot of losing hair, But a learning curve, and I was able to continue operations. I changed the management company because the initial management company, they knew what they were doing, but they were able to really tackle more units when I ended up buying my second batch. So, but it was a beautiful transaction, that one that I did. The second batch really was a heck of a story. How I was able to negotiate with that seller. Actually, he's a famous guy, but I won't say his name. He's a basketball player, and I bought a portfolio from him. And just to make this story short, I think the portfolio was listed for $3.8 million. And I start negotiating, and I get all the way down to, I submit an offer and say, no, man, we're open to offers. The broker told me, nobody's gonna get hurt. I said, are you sure? Because I want to lowball you hard.
No.
Exactly. All these properties.
Never.
Never. But, it's like all these properties are like in very bad shape. They are like vintage. They are in areas that are very challenging areas. And this is a problem that I have to absorb. And I'm not going to pay you what you want. So to make the story short, I put an offer for $850. Guys, don't be afraid to put offers that are as crazy as that. You just never know what's gonna happen. So the broker of course called me and he's like, F you, F that. Are you serious? Come on, man. That's not gonna happen. You need to be serious about it. I said, I'm serious. I already have.
I'm serious.
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
And I'll pay you guys cash. It's just a quick, no pain, no nothing. Let's get it to close. And he's like, you know what? This is not gonna fly, but let me talk to the seller and get back with you. So then from 3.6, they went down to, I believe, 2.85. And I said, that's not gonna fly. I'm sorry, man. I know you're trying to exit. Your people are motivated. I know they're motivated. There's no way I can pay you that much. There's just a lot of deferred maintenance. There's a lot of vacancy on your package. Some properties are located in very rough neighborhoods, very challenging areas. And that's not going to happen. So I said, let me get back with you. I think I can do a little bit better than my $850. So I raised the offer and said, hey, man, you need to take this offer. I raised the offer by $100,000 more. Let's do it. He's like, Sergio, that's not going to happen. I think they make a drop to 1.8, guys. I was like, oh my God, I just dropped $2 million in 2 weeks of negotiations. That's when you start saying, that's how you start to think, right? I mean, I'm just dropping $2 million from the top. Yeah. So I said, let me see what I can do. And I raised my offer to 1.1, I think. And they came back at 1.6. I said, let's meet halfway. And then we met, I said, let's go for 1.3. And guess what? They took it.
Oh, yay.
I could write a book about this transaction. It's just an amazing, never be afraid to put an offer. Never be afraid. You never know what's going to happen.
And it's also time and marination.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So time, like we were talking to Ray today about sending over a document. I was like, send it right now. The quicker you send it, let it marinate. Don't even say anything. Let them come to you and talk. So, yeah, I mean, time is the number one negotiator in my book.
You always said that, yeah.
And guys, you also need to research what's the back end of the story. How many years this owner has owned these properties for. Sometimes, as you said, it's timing. At the end of the 5, 6, 7 years, there's just no depreciation, guys. If somebody's buying this property to help them on the taxes, we talk about that later on the tax advantages of investing in multifamily, investing in real estate. There's a point that there's just no more use on that end. So to make the story short, there's more twists and turns on this story, guys. So I said, okay,
No, keep
let's wrap it
going.
up.
Keep going because the
Okay.
listeners want to learn. So, you know,
It's one of the biggest comments we get.
yes,
And feedback.
they
we
want to
get.
learn. Don't worry. If we have to make it a 2-part series, we will.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Okay, so then I said, okay, let's wrap it up, guys. And the broker sent me the contract. I signed. I flew over there, and I toured all the properties. So imagine walking to 85 properties in, I think it was 48 hours. It
Oh,
was
jeez.
crazy. Going upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, because there were duplexes. And some have basements also, in that area in Wisconsin, a lot of properties have basements. So you have to go up, down, downstairs, up, down. Duplexes going left and right, and where's the entrance, triplexes. So it was just a lot of work.
Yeah. Did you have
But,
inspections done on all of them, Sergio?
No,
Just out of curiosity
no,
for people that are...
No, Sean. I mean, I was
It was
buying
just
it.
sight. Yeah.
Sean, look at the
Plus
numbers.
the deal, you got a great deal.
I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, divided 1.3 by 83, 84 properties. I mean, what is it?
yeah. Do the calc. Yeah. Shoot, 100 something.
15, less than 20,000 a door, 16,000 a door
No.
or something?
Yeah, you're just
What's
checking
the-
the ceilings,
Oh,
making
how
sure
am I
there's
math?
no leaks. You're checking out the mechanical, electric, and
Yeah.
plumbing. So
Don't
the
get-
AC and all that stuff. And the plumbing, you're gonna flush, and AC.
I mean, for the way I look at it as, okay, I'm gonna divide my price into what's my per door cost. I mean, Sean, if you're doing the math, right? I mean, how much was it?
Yeah, I'm actually looking. If you can believe it, I don't even have a calculator on this. I don't know.
Let me see.
What?
they don't put them on the iPads.
Oh, let me see.
You had to download it.
So 1.3 divided
By
85, you said?
yeah, 85. 15,000.
Yeah,
I mean, guys,
$15,294 a door.
I don't care how experienced
Wow.
or not experienced you
Wow.
are. I mean, you're really buying it. So, I mean, it's just like less than a Toyota or Honda Civic, right?
That is
So,
crazy.
if there's
Yeah,
a tenant
you weren't-
living
yeah.
there and it's livable, why would I argue about it? Now, of course, I did my notes and I identified the properties that were pretty bad that I needed to just liquidate them. And I did like a quick cut. After I closed, I sold like 5, 6, 7 that they were just very poor condition, and I sold them for even above what I paid, just to get those properties off the books. So, but when we submit the loan, Sean, this is the funny part, the interesting part. And I knew about this. When I was crafting the offer, I knew because it was financing contingency on the offer. So if you talk to lenders, a lot of lenders don't do loans below a certain price point. They have a minimum price point and minimum loan amount. So
Right.
I started getting denied. And I was excited about that. I didn't want the loan to go through. I was trying to go to a different direction because supposedly I was supposed to come out with 20 to 25% down. Not that I didn't have the money, but as you know, it's all about leverage, right? You can come in with the less amount of money. That's a win-win. That's what your higher returns are going to be. And I didn't want to bring a partner because I thought that it's something that I could do it on my own. So I called the broker. I said, Mr. Broker, I'm sorry. All the lenders, this package is, no, you can't put a loan on this deal. The loan amount is too low. The properties are just too challenging. The property conditions are wacky. That's not going to happen. So the only way really that I can close this deal is we do owner terms. And I knew, Sean and Dino, I knew that the property was free and clear.
Right.
You can research on your county records, guys, and always check it out if there's a mortgage in place or not. I knew that the whole thing was paid off. So I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Broker, I'm walking away. Hey, come on, man, because of course the broker wants to make their commission. You know,
Yeah, and you were already
you
under
know,
contract.
and the seller
when
wants to
he was
exit.
going.
You know, they already dropped it from this crazy amount. You know, pretty much they're giving it away.
Right.
So I said the only way we can close this deal is if you guys can finance it for me. Sergio, you crazy? You know, we wasted all this time. You know, come on, man. You're trying to change things. It's like, no, it's not me. It's just your deal. It's not bankable. I cannot find a lender to do this loan. You find me a lender, I'll do it. Probably there were a few lenders that could have done it, but I did. I wanted to go that route, right? Sergio routed it up. You know, you just write it up, put it in an email, and I'll forward that to the owners. So I'm very crafty when it comes to messages. I think that's also a skill, you know, that I have, and I think you guys wanna do good in real estate. You know, maybe learn some negotiation books that are out there, or it's just that street smart gets you, you know, and being very analytical and highlight the negative. You know, why if you were to be a seller, what you're scared of. So put all the fear out there on the message. And I wrote a long email. I need to find the email because it was fantastic. I think that should be part of another book. But that letter on its own, how I crafted it and explained the broker why I was changing from this to that, it was just phenomenal. When I finished typing it, because I'm kind of like brainstorming and typing it quick on my email, I realized that was a winner message to the seller. So at the end of the day, I said, we can close quick. I'm going to lift all inspections. I'm buying as is. We can close next week. And this is the way I'm going to close. I said, I'm going to close to 10% down for 6% interest rate. I'll pay you off in 24 months. We're going to close in May. And I remember that day, May the 5th. And no contingencies, no nothing. So I send the email. The broker calls me the next day. I can't believe you, F that. Can't believe you. Oh my God, I should have closed it myself. The seller took your offer, brother.
Oh, shoot, sorry, I don't want to go to the red.
The broker was so pissed off, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I said, oh my God, funny. I can't believe it. You are so lucky, and this and that. So anyhow, I said, routed it up. So look at this, how this deal ended up closing. So 1.3, right? Do the math in your head. So that means 10% down, 130. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're closing on the 5th of May. All the rent comes in on the 1st. So now I can collect 25 days worth of rent income. That portfolio, probably I think it was like $55,000 or $60,000 a month gross revenue. So 25 days worth of that, it was like around $40,000. So I got around $40,000 to $45,000 in rent credits. So now So now you deduct that from the down payment. So 130 minus, let's say 45. So you're already at 90,000.
Yeah.
And what else we have? We have deposits. That's another $50,000 in deposits. So now we are at 55, right?
Oh my God.
And,
my God.
There was something
Sean
else.
finally gonna start pulling the triggers on these deals.
Well, you can't find a deal like that. That's crazy on deals like
They're
that.
coming.
Oh,
They're coming.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Those deals are coming.
Something else, guys. Now I know why I closed with this little money. I always knew, but now refreshing my memory. Property taxes. The taxes, I needed to get credit from January the 1st to May the 5th. Taxes were around $65,000 a year. So I get all those credits from the seller for the months that they own it. So I got now around 25. At the end of the day, I closed the deal with $26,000, guys. That's the story.
Wow.
Oh my God! Congratulations!
I hope the seller didn't go to the closing table.
No.
And if he did, I hope you took a photo of his face. Because I would love to see that.
I know. They were committed, so they couldn't back. They were just exiting, and it was just amazing transaction. To make the story short again, we just sold that package early this year, and that was a record sale. I think that we sold it for like 4 point something. Yeah.
Congratulations!
Oh no, 3.8, 3.9.
26K.
Yeah.
A couple years later.
What's your cash on cash
4.8,
return on
4.8.
that?
God.
Jesus.
From here to the moon, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cash
the
on
return on the
cash
cap.
return.
Yeah.
The full cash on cash IRR, everything.
yeah.
Cap rate.
I know.
You got to include everything because we run deals that way, right? So
Yeah.
when I break down a property and I need to sell it to somebody like from certain cultures, I'll break it down all the way down to what, a cash on cash. So like if they put down $100,000, I take after debt service and everything.
Correct.
Tell them that
You
rate.
projected their cash on cash
Yeah.
and the overall return. But I mean, here is infinitive anyways. I mean, the return is just
Yeah, it is.
astronomically huge. So
Yeah.
but it was a journey. I really earned that money, and then
Yeah, of course.
And then what happened with that capital, Sean? You remember what we did with that exchange?